I have a question for you on this. This is perfect for you because I'm seeing this week that there is an attempted comeback by somebody who did not cross one of those fateful lines of the misstepping on their sacred cows of gender or race or sexuality.
Yeah.
But she was said to be a nasty biatch, and that's Ellen DeGeneres.
Yeah.
So her show got canceled after she had this testy exchange with Dakota Johnson, where something happened where Dakota said, I had this birthday party. And Ellen said, well, why didn't you invite me? You didn't invite me. And she said, no, I did invite you, Ellen. That's not what happened. And Ellen had blown her off and then tried to play the victim on the set with her. Anyway, it led to article after article of people being like, Ellen's a bitch. Ellen is a nasty person. And all these staffers started to come out, not for nothing, but I know a guy, I know him very well, whose sister worked for her, who said, you were not allowed to make eye contact with Ellen in the halls of that show. If you saw her, this is not a nice person. So she eventually got canceled, but now she's coming back. She's got a Netflix special. That's the right response.
Yeah.
She's got a Netflix special. And here's the capper. On the promo, and apparently there's now articles out about from people who have seen the preview, she plays the victim. And she says, poor me. And she actually has the nerve to say that she was run out of Hollywood. This person...
With she had $100 million in her pocket.
$450 million, according to Forbes. That's a low estimate.
Yeah.
Because, so now she's out there saying, I was run out of Hollywood. She's actually reportedly complaining about how hard it is for women in America with the double standards.
Look at Oprah, how hard it is for her.
Oh, she's got, 10 houses, Ellen DeGeneres?
Michelle Obama, look how hard it is for women in America. They're hurting.
They're going to let her back in, Rob, because she's a lesbian, she's a leftist, and she didn't hit one of their sacred cows. Nastiness, that's their bread and butter.
Well, I think everyone... I will say, the resentment, I think everyone should have a chance for reconciliation. I don't think Jesus exempted anybody. And so I do, while it does, because I have been allowed back in, but I don't hold any grievance and resentment. It's very important. And I would just say for Ellen, the resentment, you have to get over resentment to whatever addiction or addictive qualities happen. To get over it, you have to deal with resentment and address it, and then otherwise you're going to fall back into the same pattern. And I think also to admit your mistakes.
Of all people on earth to be feeling sorry for herself, Ellen DeGeneres should not be on the list.
She should at least, but make a real apology and do it.
There's no apology. It's just woe is me. I was run out of Hollywood as she speaks from this grandiose stage on Netflix. Hello, you haven't been canceled if you are doing a Netflix special. She got $20 million for the one before this. I'm sure she's fine.
I'm sure she's fine. It is, Ellen is a comedian and all comedians, and I get it, and I have to fight this, and it is true. You never forget that even though she has $450 million, I really do, and I mean this sincerely, the fact that she had to hold back that she was a lesbian for years, and ABC told me you couldn't come out. I mean, that frustration would create an anger and a resentment that I think is understandable for people. That doesn't equate or doesn't justify any meanness or any ugliness. But I was with her, and when she was a stand-up comedian, and when they made her star in a movie where she had to kiss another guy and do this movie, which obviously wasn't being able to play herself. And I do remember being with her and feeling that resentment and going, wow, that's a much tougher road than I've had to go through. Mm-hmm. And so
But
I know,
the same society bestowed riches beyond the wildest imagination upon this woman.
But when you don't get over your grievances and you let it fester and resent and take it out on people, and then I think that's something that has to be, there really does have to be a coming to Jesus moment where you have to, literally or figuratively, where you can just get over this stuff and then start over and say, yeah, I was whether you want to use the C word or the B word, and admit that and move on. And I think in our culture, The great thing about America is that you really do have a tradition of forgiveness here. Mm-hmm. We have a country.
I agree with you. And forgiveness is great. I'm Catholic. It's just the double standard on it is very galling. Here's a clip, by the way. This is the promo for her Netflix special. And here's a clip.
Decided to take up gardening. I got chickens. Let me see what else I can tell you about that's been going on. Oh, yeah, I got kicked out of show business. The Be Kind Girl Wasn't Kind. That was the headline. Here's the problem. I'm a comedian who got a talk show, and I ended the show every day by saying, be kind to one another. Had I ended my show by saying, go fuck yourselves, people would have been pleasantly surprised to find out I'm kind.
Well, yeah, that's disingenuous. That's disingenuous. That's disgenerous. Well, I think there's certainly no lack of, I don't sense any humility.
No,
in that.
No, and no one cares that now she's dealing with chickens. It's like, all right,
you're a normal $450 million person.
And by the way, I guarantee you,
who's taking care of her chickens? I guarantee. What's that? You guarantee what?
She's worth a lot more than $450 million.
Her art alone,
and like those talk show hosts,
her devil worshipping art alone.
It's just, it's too much. I can't stand these rich celebrities who want us to feel sorry for them. We don't, right? It's like all those you saw, like Julia Roberts on the Oprah special with Kamala Harris, like and Meryl Streep. Like,
I know, winning over the hearts of people who live in gated communities everywhere.
Well, wait, are these still your people? Are you still in California?
No, I had to move out of California because I got little kids. And
we understand why.
It's dangerous that, in California, take your kids, in public schools. In the morning you drop off a girl, in the afternoon you pick up a boy. You never know what you're going to get. But I really didn't feel it was safe in California. And I felt, it's very interesting because I'm getting those calls, and I'm sure you are too, where people call you and say, I wish I could come out and say what I believe, I agree with you. I just can't. And my favorite was my lawyer who called me, my entertainment lawyer. And I want to sell him out and say his name now, but I'm not going to. Eric, I'll say his first name.
Okay, good.
And he said, I thought you were nuts 5 years ago. But now that my kid's in first grade, and I can't believe what they're doing to him in the school. And it's a private school. So I can just imagine what's happening to public school. And I would say to all those rich liberals out there in Los Angeles, if you're lucky enough to send your kid to private schools, most people are being educated in public schools. And the garbage and the indoctrination that's happening to those kids is going to affect society. And that's how
inescapable.
And that's how the the Maoist revolution didn't die. It went underground because in the 1960s, Marcuse was one of the heads of it, was realizing that the revolution wasn't going to happen with the worker because the worker realized, the revolutionaries realized that the workers knew that capitalism worked. It improved their lives and the lives of their children. And so the revolution wasn't going to come through the worker. So they were going to have to do what? They were going to have to infiltrate education. Mm-hmm. And that's exactly what they did, starting in the late 1960s and the 70s in university levels. One of them was Kamala Harris's dad.
Yeah,
who was
an avowed Marxist.
An avowed Marxist teaching Marxism at Stanford. And that was when it was ideologically cute. Well, let's include this. But what really was happening was this indoctrination was spreading out to where by 1990, it was getting into K through 12. And then by 2010, it's 20-year marks, basically. By 2010, the capture had been complete. So that agenda is out there.
Do you owe back taxes? Are your tax returns still unfiled? Did you forget to file for an extension? The October 15th deadline is fast approaching and time is running out. If you have not gathered all of your documents or made any estimated payments, you could soon be targeted by the IRS. After October 15th, the IRS can garnish your wages, freeze your bank accounts, or even seize your property. Oh, joy. But there's help. Don't panic. Tax Network USA, a nationwide tax firm, has helped taxpayers save more than $1 billion in tax debt. They have filed over 10,000 tax returns and assisted thousands in reducing their tax burdens, and they can help you too. Don't wait. Visit tnusa.com/Megyn or call 1-800-958-1000 for a free consultation. They will guide you through a few simple questions to determine how much you can save. Take action now before it's too late. Visit tnusa.com/Megyn or call 1-800-958-1000. Thanks so much for watching. If you like what you just saw, hit the subscribe button for more clips and full episodes.